Now, something else I'd like to talk to you about. There's a running gag in Never Back Down 3, which is where people mistake you for other black athletes or actors, and especially Quentin Jackson being one of them. Has anyone ever mistaken you for someone else like that before?
Yeah, I wrote the truth. A lot of people, when I shave my hair bald, people confuse me with Quentin Tarantino, Quentin Rampage Jackson. But recently, strangely enough, I've been mistaken for Jon Jones,
Wow.
like about five different times, where people have thought I was Jon Jones, and I couldn't get it. But my own wife sees some similarity.
That's
I guess there's a few pictures that we might look, like I say, a little bit related.
like, if you squint a lot, maybe, but I don't know. That's a big jump.
Yeah, she actually showed me the picture, and actually, it's one of the pictures um, for Never Back Down 3, No Surrender. And she pointed it out, and I said, "Oh my God, there is a little similarity." I had to agree with one of them.
All right, I'm gonna have to look for that picture now. And
Yeah.
something that's been in the Never Back Down series, a theme in the films has always been social acceptance. And I feel like with Never Back Down 3, which you had a hand in writing, I believe, you touch on some heavier issues that are a little bit more subtle, especially with Stephen Quadros' character and his Confederate flag tattoo, with white gym culture, and again, like how your character gets mistaken for other black celebrities repeatedly through the entire movie. So you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like the film is kind of addressing some latent and blatant racism with this movie. And I wanted to ask if that's your intention with this movie when you're working on this, and if it is, what's the ultimate message that you'd like viewers to take away from it?
Well, I mean that's a little bit of just a little bit of slice of life, and it's a little bit of humor. Really, I'm not one to even think about race very much. I mean, it's just you are who you are, and sometimes that happens. I mean, I'm sure there's white people who get mistaken for other white people. There's a lot of fighters who may be mistaken for other fighters. So I don't think that's a race issue. You know, uh, I bet you if I asked Boss Rutan how many people has he been mistaken for, I'm sure he'd have more than two handfuls of it. So it has nothing to do with race.
Okay. Now, 'cause watching the movie, especially I've always thought martial arts movies, in particular Bruce Lee's movies, they've always had a little bit of an element of civil rights in them. And speaking about Jim Kelly and Ron Van Cleef films, I've always kind of noticed that as well, especially. I mean, is this something you maybe are thinking about working on in future works?
Well, yeah, I definitely want to do movies with content that interests me. I would never want to do a martial art movie for just for martial arts sake. That's why I take special observance to create stories that if you taken the martial arts out of it, it would still be a compelling story. You know, so I mean, yeah, there's a lot of very interesting stories out there, and some that I'm in the process of producing. But yeah, I'm always open for movies that cause people to speak, to talk about the issues.
Okay, I look forward to hearing about those works in the future as well. Now, as we mentioned, also Never Back Down 3, we've got Josh Barnett in the film. You guys had some really good chemistry, I thought, and I really liked your fight scene that you had with him, which had some good catch wrestling thrown into it. What was it like working with Josh and choreographing fight scenes with Josh?
But it's comfortable. We're friends. We train together anyway. We actually trained together yesterday. So I mean, that what you're saying is actually like very realistic. Josh and I are both martial arts nerds, and also just nerds in general, which makes for an interesting. I think we have a lot of similarity. Not only that, we have the same birthday, which is really strange. But we're both these, imposing, who could have done that role other than him.
Yeah, I've talked to Josh a bunch of times. He's an awesome dude. I never knew about you guys sharing the same birthday, though. Do you guys have the same birthday parties, too?
What's that?
Do you guys have the same birthday parties as well? Like, you go to the same bowling alley, do your cake thing together?
No, I think we're both similar in that way. But I don't really celebrate my birthday, and I think we're both the type of people who like to throw parties for people, but would be uncomfortable having a party